Today on SPN, we'll be taking a look at a particular quadrilogy and a particular remake.
And we will also be talking about the random act of kindness.
SPN
starts now.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke, your love life's the old way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, or week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there for you.
Good afternoon, fellow students. I am Luke Arcobas.
And my name is Jonathan Fuero, and welcome to this year's episode of SPN.
Now, students, not only am I back, but student council is also back. As a reminder that today is the day that the application is due, so make sure you know about that. Also, it is Spooktober, if you are aware, so sooner in, I believe, October 30th or 31st, we will be able to wear costumes for school, and that would be great.
And now, let's send it up to Chris A. with your sports.
Have you seen Chris A lately? He's supposed to do weathers and sports.
Yeah, but he ended up dancing in the rain outside. Ooh.
Yikes. But luckily we'll cover for him. So good news, we have plenty of basketball players this year from different genders, different grade levels, and different countries. We also are having one with us today. Take it away, Chris A.
Alright, Jamel, where do you live and where are you from?
I live here in Miami, like right down the street. I'm from Austin, Texas, as some of y'all may know.
Well then, and why do you choose to play basketball?
It's been my favorite sport for like a few years now. I used to play football, but I stopped playing football and started playing basketball.
And who's your favorite team?
Favorite team? I don't really have a favorite team. I have favorite players though.
And who's your favorite teammate?
My favorite teammate on the team probably would be, I don't know, probably like Jose, AJ maybe, but I'm friends with everybody on our team.
Well then, good job, bro. Anyways, this is Jose Gascu signing out for SPN. Woo yeah!
Well, there's something oddly entertaining about sports, and speaking of which, why don't we bring you to entertainment?
What is up, guys? This is Jose Gascu in the Schoolhouse reporting for SPN. And today, we are going to talk about Pokemon Sword and Shield. Let's go! This world is inhabited far and wide by creatures called Pokemon. That is what was once said in the old generation of Pokemon games. But it's not about Mega Evolution or Z moves. It's all about Max moves. That's all, folks. Have a great day!
After watching the Lion King remake, I lost hope in Disney sequels. Oh wait, that's implying that I did have hope. I will explain why the Lion King remake is disrespectful to the 1994 version, and even the Hamlets for another day. But we got another disrespect to not just the film, but the original story, Mulan 2020. Before I talk about Mulan 2020, let's go back in time so I can tell you why Mulan is a good film. It's one of my favorite movies from the Disney Renaissance. They took a simple story of a teenage girl who joins the militia to save her aging father from being sent to war against the Huns. It did more than they should have. The story and setting is possibly the most accurate representation of history in a Disney film. The music isn't just great, it has a unique presence and style that's different from the Broadway-esque musicals Disney is well known for. Plus, it moves with the story rather than taking breaks from it. Most of the characters have fun personalities. The animation and art style is great. Some of the cinematography is just breathtaking, especially the scene where the Huns emerge from the mountains. It's just astonishing. And Mulan is a strong female protagonist done correctly. She never wanted to prove that women are capable of doing the same thing as men. She wanted to protect her father. During I'll Make a Man Out of You, Mulan was struggling to catch up. Then, when she was told to go home, she redeemed herself, learned from her errors, and used her smarts and knowledge from previous training exercises as an advantage. The three characters that poked fun at her now followed suit. This is why Mulan works and these characters don't. If you make your character perfect, they have no obstacles to overcome and are unable to relate to people watching the film. And this goes for every character, regardless of race and gender. So that was Mulan. Now let's talk about Mulan. Mulan. What is accomplished by removing the musical numbers? They were essentially the best elements in the film. The music flowed naturally with the story and never halted the story back as previously stated. But don't worry, they're still here as instrumentals. The music, what most people associate and recognize Disney with, the music, something that has been a staple of the company since Steamboat Willie, isn't present in the 2020 Mulan remake. I don't have a problem with Disney not having musical numbers in all of their films. Wreck-It Ralph is still great and it's one of my favorite films, despite the lack of musical numbers. Even if Mulan only has 4 musical numbers, they are still a huge part of the story. Now they're just removed from the film because they felt they were too edgy for musicals. Just like how they're too edgy for animation. Because yeah, according to the #1 animation company, animation is nothing more than a distraction so that your annoying little kids can shut up. But the salt in the open wound is that they are making an adaptation of a musical. I cannot express my anger in any other fashion. Instead of Shan Yu being the main baddie, it's a witch. Great job, Disney! You just made your live-action remake even less realistic than the original. Oh, the Pharaoh me. Now, Shan Yu wasn't exactly the most compelling or even rememberable villain, but he still made narrative sense given that he's based off of the actual leader of the Huns, Attila, plus his design looks sick and intimidating. But we have a witch now, cause I definitely remembered reading about ancient Chinese history and learning about witches. Huh. Then there's a mentor for Mulan, which adds nothing to the film. The only major change that I'm okay with is Mushu being absent in the film. Mushu wasn't really a bad character per se, but he doesn't really fit with the tone of Mulan 1998, which is about war and a dash of prejudice. He was pretty much included because every Disney Renaissance film after The Little Mermaid needs to include a sidekick comic relief, so it's fine. In the trailer, Mulan is fighting the Huns without any armor and with her hair down. But wasn't the point of her looking like a man and putting on armor so that she can hide her identity and not get fatal wounds at war? Mulan apparently also has powers now according to the cast, but we'll wait and see. If they keep Mulan's powers in the final film, I'm going to commit frog legs. Obviously the film isn't out and what I criticize may change if Disney listens, which after the abomination of Lion King 2019, but there is one thing they got right this year. But first, I will bring you Camila for acting.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Camila Jalid, and I love acting. Acting is an art. It allows you to express your emotions through tone and movement. You don't even have to speak to communicate your feeling. When I do acting, it lets me express whatever feelings I have in my mind. The acting directors are some of the best people you will ever meet. They push me to be the best of myself and to always be positive, with amazing friends and with people who care for me. That's why I love to be in acting class. This week we will be doing horror and we get to write our own scripts. I don't know what I'm going to do yet for my part of the script, but I am sure that I will ensure that it will be extraordinary.
And scream.
Weren't you going to talk about kindness awareness?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Now, let's head up to the Random Act of Kindness.
Hey guys, it's Jonathan here, aka ENS Ferrero on YouTube, and today we're gonna talk about the random act of kindness. A random act of kindness is a selfless act performed by kind people to either help or cheer up a random stranger, for no reason other than to make people happier. When I first learned about the random act of kindness, I reached over 1,000 subscribers in January, and I never give up on myself. A few things you need to learn is that no matter how hard you work, you still find time to help others. You can accomplish by kindness what you cannot by force. Do things for people, not because of who they are or what they do in return, but because of who you are. Believe in yourself, have faith, and always move forward. In my Ferrero family's legacy, Ferreros never give up. Never forget that. That is all I have to say about the random act of kindness. Reporting for SPN, I am Jonathan Ferrero.
Luke! Why are you breathing like that?
Why am I breathing like this? Well, it's simple. It's good for my health. And speaking of which, why don't we send you off to Camila for your health?
Right.
Oh my god, I'm so exhausted. Do you know why I love doing exercises? Obviously, because it's good for my health. Maintaining good health is really important to your life. It keeps your body fit and stable, and also it gives you, obviously, longer life. Maintaining good hygiene is key to maintaining good health. Brushing your teeth, drinking a lot of water, and taking a bath every single day are examples of good hygiene. You can also get a cheat day, which means you can drink or eat junk food, but please don't overdo it. It's really bad for your health. Stay tuned for more. This is Camila Jaled signing off for SPN. Goodbye for now. Hello Wolfpack, my name is Camila Jaled, and today I want to talk about nature and its wonders. Nature is very relaxing. Something about it sends me a zen state, such as the trees, the birds singing, the breeze of the soft wind blowing past you, and the sunlight hitting your skin. There are many sights to see in nature, whether it's breathtaking mountains or bottomless pits of darkness. But nature can be scary too. It has volcanoes, hurricanes, tsunamis, and other natural disasters which can kill you. Fear not, there are many ways to know when a disaster is going to happen, and there's also enough time to warn people about it. Enough talking about disasters. Let's talk about how nature is very important to the human body. It helps provide water for people to drink, it provides oxygen from the trees to help people breathe, and it provides heat to warm up the air. That's all that I have for this segment about nature. See you next episode. This is Camila Jaled signing off for SPN.
After watching Toy Story 4 last month, it had me thinking about something. Woody's character development is something special.
What? What's everybody looking at?
What started out as a dishonorable, petty character who nearly brought Pixar to their demise, to who is, in my opinion, the most fleshed out character Pixar has created thus far, whose arc expands through 4 films and drastically changes. Throughout the 2010s, I feel like it has become rarer to find great, smart, and mature animated movies in the West that are beautiful in storytelling, animation, or both. Character development is no exception. Character development in most of these films is non-existent. Most of the time, the protagonist is told that he or she is so special, or 2 characters hate each other, but they like each other later on. It's lazy writing and is only used to avoid putting effort in character development. Now, Toy Story also has the 2 characters hate each other but end up liking each other plot, but it isn't in your face or obvious. So, what can we learn from Woody?
Got a friend in me. Some other folks might be a little bit smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too.
What are Woody's motives throughout the series? In the first Toy Story, Woody is a leader and wants to ensure Andy's toys don't get left behind.
Ooh, I don't want any toys left behind.
In Toy Story 2, Woody wants to last forever. And in Toy Story 3, he wants to be there for Andy, even in college.
I have a kid. You have a kid. Andy. And if he wants us at college or in the attic, well, then our job is to be there for him.
But what about the 4th film? We'll get there later. His motives become even more interesting once you take into account his fears. In the first Toy Story, Buzz becomes Andy's new favorite, and Woody fears not being able to be played with, so he tries to shove Buzz into the Shadow Realm, but accidentally pushes him out the window. In Toy Story 2, Woody has a nightmare after Andy rips his arm out and begins to worry about being discarded. So when Woody learns that if he goes with the Roundup gang to a museum in Japan, he will last forever.
You are a toy! For how much longer? One more rip and Andy's done with me. And what do I do then, Buzz, huh? You tell me.
In Toy Story 3, Woody fears that Andy will never be with him again, so he leaves the rest of the toys and tries to get back to Andy's house. So we talked about fears and motives. What about it? Well, that leads us to the next thing Woody and even other Pixar characters teach us about character development. Yes, Woody is jealous of Buzz throughout Toy Story, but he eventually learns that he can't be the only toy Andy plays with the most. In Toy Story 2, he learns that an eternal life isn't worth it, but a short life is worth it in the end.
Worried about Andy? Nah, it'll be fun while it lasts.
This theme continues in Toy Story 3, where Woody realizes that Woody may not be played with for years if he stays with Andy. So he sneaks in the box with the other toys instead so he can look after another kid, Bonnie.
Sherlock Gnomes! What an epic film! One of the greatest sequels ever conceived! Oh my god! Sherlock Gnomes! Sherlock Gnomes film! I laughed every time! Wow! It's Sherlock Holmes! Now this is a certified hood classic!
Toy Story 4 for me was noticeably weaker compared to the previous three, yet it still has strong elements. The strongest aspect of Toy Story 4 is how it establishes and concludes Woody's arc. Toy Story 4 reintroduces themes from the previous films, yet uses them to show how far Woody has gone as a character, rather than rehashing them and doing nothing with them like Cloudy 2. I think you all know what I think about Cloudy 2. In Toy Story 4, Bonnie hasn't played with Woody for 3 weeks and has new favorites. Eventually, when she goes to a kindergarten orientation, she makes a friend, literally, and it becomes Bonnie's favorite almost immediately. If this was Toy Story 1 Woody, or God, the Black Friday real Woody, he would have been incredibly jealous and would have even let Forky be thrown out. But Woody does the exact opposite. He makes sure Forky is there for Bonnie like he was for Andy, and tries to convince him that he is a toy like he did with Buzz. Or how about the antique shop reflecting loneliness, something Woody could have faced forever in Toy Story 2? Or even Toy Story 3, foreshadowing of Woody's departure with Buzz and the rest of the toys. Little details like this shows the growth of Woody's arc in a subtle but compelling way. In the end of Toy Story 4, Woody realizes he doesn't need a kid to be happy. Now, Woody isn't needed anymore, so he decides to move on and stay with Bo, while he helps lost toys find a purpose, because he wants others to experience what it's like to be played with, something that he has missed for weeks. Instead of going from kid to kid, he can make kids happy without having to be involved with their lives, and can always be with a kid if he wants to. He has a new role, and he's happier than he has ever been.
Pull my string, the birthday party's today?
People have goals we want to accomplish in the future, but people fear change. They fear it will go against their goals or even their lives. We want to push them out of the way or prevent a change from happening just to get what we want. But in the end, they can't. Yet people adapt. People use it to their advantage and find something that they were missing. We can't really predict our own futures, yet we try our hardest to make sure it goes by the status quo, when change can actually be beneficial, whether we see it as good or bad. That is Woody at his core. Even though he is a toy, he is Pixar's most human character. This is Luke Arcobas reporting for SPN, and it's great to be back.
To infinity and beyond!
Well, what else can we say other than we're great to be here?
And also, I'm very, very happy to be back on SPN for this year, and also Schoolhouse Prep. Make sure to like, comment, and also subscribe, and also turn on post notifications, and we will see you guys
on the next
SPN episode.
Ciao.